Alright. Hi, buddy. If anybody pops in and I gotta give the playlist, then I will jump up and do that. But I want to do some real gentle twist and lower back stuff today. Just kind of grounding and softening. Oh, somebody did pop in. Cool. Hey guys, do you guys have the playlist? Do you need it? Here, wait. I'm gonna put it in. You can't hear it anyway. I'm just gonna pop this up. Alright. Ta-da! Okay. So I was saying some gentle twist and lower back sort of stuff. I don't really have any specific prop usage planned, but of course if there's anything you like to have handy, go ahead and grab it. I got the new Bell Hooks book, the poet, and she wrote a couple of essays on love, and I just picked it up at Powell's and started flipping through, and I was like, oh, this is good stuff, so I grabbed it, and I've gotten through the first couple of sessions, and she's talking more about how this relates to our family relationships, but I really started to get into my relationship with my body. That's how this resonated with me, the discussion of the differences between care and love. And care is like for me and my body, I care for it a lot. I am meticulous and perhaps a little bit overzealous about caring for my body. I drink a ton of water, eat vegetables, eat well, get as much rest as I can, moisturize, exercise, all the good stuff. I gotta take really good care of this machine, of this meat suit I'm hanging out in. But I am admittedly awful at times about loving myself and my body, particularly the body. Because love is, care is great, care is important, and care in our interpersonal relationships is important and valid as well. Love is harder sometimes, because love is seeing and recognizing and celebrating something exactly the way that it is. And I sometimes have a hard time celebrating when I'm feeling stiff, when I'm feeling tired, and I'm recognizing the ways in which I'm getting older and softer and all of that stuff. And it's hard sometimes to love that. It just is. Sometimes we don't have all of the resources and the spoons to fully love. Care is a great intermediary. Care is important. Care is in some ways kind of a stepping stone towards love. But any of those times where we can find those little bits of love and kind of flex the muscle of love, if you will, it gets a little bit easier to tap into. So we'll do a little brief meditation on that, just trying to find some little thing that you love about yourself, and then we'll get into taking some really good care of ourselves. So starting off with face brushing, take your index finger and thumb together, go to the center of your forehead, and brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then going from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones, and from your temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And going from the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. And massaging underneath and behind your ears, where the soft spot is. Working upwards from the bony spots. And when it feels comfortable to go ahead and rest your hands down into your lap. Just start taking a couple of deep breaths. Breathing deeply in and out through your nose. Thinking to yourself of something about yourself. It could be your physical body, it could be something else about yourself if that's easier. What do you love about yourself? What do you find that you're able to recognize, to see, and to celebrate about yourself exactly the way that it is? And it can be really silly and superficial, or really small, or maybe it is something really profound and wonderful, and you're in this really good state of love with yourself. Awesome. I will be perfectly honest with you. My thing is usually I like my eyes and I like hatha. Or love. Hatha. Just find something, any little thing. About just one thing is helping you to think about a few other things. Maybe it's hard to think of something, that's okay too. Big breath in through your nose and let your exhale out through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. Got your legs wound up, go ahead and extend the mat in front of you. If it feels comfy, you can stay seated up on anything if that's the way that you begin. Take your left hand over to your right leg, take your right arm back behind you, lift your toes. There they go, the toes are in. Lift it behind your ears. Take a little bit of a twist, and you're not gonna get like super far with this one. Just gonna feel it out. One more exhale. And then relax it and take it over towards the other side. So you'll use your right hand for a little traction, your left hand for support. Lift up tall, soften your belly when you exhale. Breath out. And release your twist. Come back to this. You're going to take your right leg and cross it over if it feels good to you. Hug around with your elbow. Use your left hand for support. And from this place, you might feel like you can twist a little bit deeper. Or you could feel like the last one was a place you were able to twist a little bit more. Just notice the difference. One more breath out. And release your twist, release your right leg. Grab the left one in and fold it over. And then hug with your elbow. Use your left arm for support. Lift up and soften your belly as you twist. One more breath out. Release your twist, unwind your legs, bring the soles of your feet together. Hold on to your ankles or shins wherever it's comfortable to you. Lift up from behind your ears, feel your heart rising up towards the front and the top of your ribs. As you take some deep breaths staying here or starting to lean yourself forward a little bit. If the leaning forward doesn't feel good, just stay lifted up. Take 2 more breaths. That shape. Take your right leg, send it out, bring your left leg in just wherever it's comfortable to you, and lift your toes on that right leg. Start to walk your fingertips forward or leave them back behind you, lifting your spine up tall. Just start to feel some inner thighs, some hamstring stretch, and just start to move into it gently and slowly. Keep your toes lifted though. And then relax these toes. See if that changes anything. Sometimes it softens the hamstrings a little bit more, and you can lean a little bit more into this fold. 1 more exhale. And then start to walk your hands back and switch sides, taking your left leg out. Start with your toes lifted. Just come forward and feel what you feel. Notice what you notice. Does it feel tight? Does it feel kind of intense? And then what changes when you take the toes and relax them forward? Do you have any more space, or does it just feel better in the space that you're at? One more exhale. And start to walk your hands back in, and then send both of your legs up pretty wide. And we are still fairly early in the practice, so don't expect the biggest folds ever. But start with your toes lifted, and you might even take your hands back behind you. If you do start to feel like you want to walk your hands out in front of you, you can be mindful that the toes lifting is going to make things a little bit more tight in the hamstrings. Just a little bit more action there. And then changing this, send your toes out. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit more. Maybe you just feel better about wherever you're leaning into. One more exhale. And then relax out of the fold. Go ahead and bring your legs in together. And then if you were sitting up on anything, go ahead and set it off to your side. And you're gonna hold onto the backs of your legs, lift up from behind your ears so the spine is nice and long, and then start to lean back from your ears, and you might even slide your heels back a little bit with you. Try to lift your heart up towards the front and the top of your rib cage. Another big breath in. And on your exhale, soften. And kind of come forward a little bit. And then lift up again from behind your ears. Maybe now you take your arms and reach them out in front of you and pull back from your ears. You can have your heels gently rested. You could lift them up if you wanted to, but honestly, I hate that, so I won't insist of it from you. Still long through your spine. No, my shirt's dropping back, but spine is lifting up. One more breath in. And then exhale, relax it. Go ahead and rest forward for a moment. We're gonna go and add some little twists onto that. Start to lift up from behind your ears, arms go forward. You could always hold onto your legs, lean back from behind your ears. Let your belly soften, open your right arm out to the right. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, feel your chest lifting. Exhale, open your left arm out to the left. And then inhale, lifting up and forward. Exhale, open to the right. Inhale to the center, exhale, open to the left. And take 2 more on your own. Try to stay lifted in the chest, long in the spine, long in the breath. Opening up, lifting up, soften your belly. Lift up again through the center. Maybe you get a little bit taller with your heart. And then go ahead and relax that. Start to come down onto your back. Bring both knees into your chest to start off with, giving yourself a little rock side to side. And keep holding on to your right leg. Let your left leg drop down or extend up, just whatever feels good to you. Let it relax. Pull your right knee towards your right shoulder. So not like way out to the side, but just out a little bit. So you get a little bit more room to flex this hip, to stretch it out. Take 2 more deep breaths. Using your left hand, you're going to draw the right leg over towards the left side. You're going to stretch the outside of your hip, open your right arm, let your belly soften. One more breath out. And come back to your back, relax the right leg down, take your left leg in. And then slide the right leg out as much as you like, if you like to, or you can just leave it bent on the floor. And then bring the knee off of center so it's out a little bit more towards your left shoulder. One more breath out. And then taking with the right hand, guiding the leg across the body into a twist over towards the right. You can open your left arm if that feels good to you. Let your inside soften. Two more breaths. Then as you come back to your back, bring your knees into your chest. And then start to rock yourself up to a seat. Come out onto your hands and knees. When you get onto your hands and knees, you might spread your fingertips out. You might come onto fingertips instead of resting onto your wrists. And take a few cat-to-cow, dropping your belly, looking up, rounding your spine as you exhale, tucking your tail. As you move through this, noticing the points in your back that might not move as fluidly as other points do. And also recognizing that's because those are the parts of your body that are a little bit more solidly put together. So just be grateful for that there are parts of you that are solidly put together. Finish up one more exhale. Return to a little more neutral spine. Take your right arm, open it up a bit, just as much as you can reasonably, and then exhale, hover underneath, reaching behind your left hand, and then inhale, open it up, and exhale, hovering as you reach down underneath, and take a few more like that. The slower you go, the deeper this works into your core. Try to lengthen your breath. Do one more, open it up. And then this time when you reach underneath, go ahead and rest on your shoulder. Come up onto your left fingertips if it feels good to you, just so you can try to open the upper back a bit more. And then let your belly soften, let your thigh bones soften inside of your hip sockets. One more breath out. Then you'll plant your left hand down in front of your face. Go ahead and open your right arm out. Send your right foot to the back of your mat. Pivot your left toes behind you. And lift up. Try to send your hips and your heart forward. One more breath in. And returning your right hand back down. Returning your right knee down and your toes back behind you. Take your left arm, lift it open, take a breath in. As you exhale, reach just behind your right hand, hover off of the floor. Inhale, opening it back up. Exhale, reach and hover. And take 3 more. Long, deep breaths.
try to smooth out the movement as much as you're able to. And then rest on the outside of your shoulder. Let yourself come down. Rest on your head. Maybe come up to right fingertips if you like that. One more exhale. Then placing that left hand or right hand down in front of your face. Unwind the left arm. Pivot the right toes to the right, the left toes to the back of the mat, and lift your hips and your heart up and forward. Feel the front side of your body stretching out. One more breath in. And as you exhale, bring both hands back down. Both knees back down. Walk your hands forward. Bring your heart up above your thumbs. Push the floor away. Spread your fingertips out. And then as slow as you want to, lower down onto your belly. Once you get down here, come up to fingertips. So you're going to use your back, and don't worry about feeling like you need to get super high up with it. We're just going to lift a little bit into a little cobra and lower down. Try to lift up with your heart. Notice if your low back is pinching, and if it's pinching, could you widen your legs, or could you not worry about getting up quite as high? Do just one more. And lower down, make a pillow for your head with your hands. Give yourself a little rest. Bringing your hands in by your lower ribs, lift your hips up off the floor, push your chest up off the floor, and then you're going to bring your right foot forward to the outside of your hands, and if you need to grab some blocks so you have a little bit more space or longer arms, please do that. That foot is on the outside of the arms so it can have a little bit more space to lift up through the chest. It's a little bit easier to bring the hands to the floor here. We're getting a little bit more open in the hip. One more breath in and out. And then turn your right knee and your right toe out to the right side. You might be able to bring your left hand a little bit further forward, your hips a little further forward. Your right hand can come to your right thigh, or you can reach it back behind you. It really looks like my shoulders dropping forward. Let's see if I can open up my chest a little more. And the breath. One more exhale. And then turn forward again. Bring your hands on the inside of the leg. Turn your right knee and toe to face forward. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest up and forward to see if it feels a little bit different than when we were there a moment ago. One more inhale. And exhale. And then start to pull your hips back, your right leg back, bring it next to your left, and then bring your left foot forward outside of your left hand. Your arms are on the inside of your leg. You're lifting your chest up and forward, feeling that hip opening up. Taking a nice big breath in and out. And then turning your left knee and your left toe out to the left side. Take your right hand a little bit more forward. Bringing your left hand to your left thigh, lift your chest. And relax your hips forward. Roll that left shoulder back as much as you can. One more exhale. And then turn forward again, back to this low lizard lunge. Turn your left knee and toe forward. Lift your chest up. And take another long inhale find something to soften as you exhale. And then pull both of your legs back, knees are together. Spread your fingers out away from each other. Breath, voice, push from your heart into your hands. Curl your toes under, find downward facing dog. Kind of bend your knees a little bit, give your hamstrings some more space, get your tailbone a little more lifted, wiggle out whatever you need to wiggle out. One more exhale. And then look forward and bring your feet up to your hands, find a forward fold at the front of your mat. Feel free to hold your legs if the floor seems like it's a long ways away. Kind of balance the weight on your feet. See if you can maybe notice if you're putting the weight in the front or the backs of your feet and balance that out. One more exhale. And then start to walk your hands up your legs, come up to standing. When you get up to standing, just drop your arms down by your sides. Check out that your feet are parallel and right underneath your hip bones. The backs of your ears lift up, balance the weight on your feet. Do you have an even amount of pressure from the front to the back of the feet and the insides and the outsides, feeling the backs of your ears lift up. Nice and long through your spine. And then take your arms up. It's going to change. You'll feel a little bit longer. You might feel a little bit of like a back bend start to work into that. Try not to be super back bendy about this one. One way to help is to lift up the fronts of the hips. One more breath in. And then take a little twist, taking your right arm out to the right, your left arm forward, you twist open towards the right side. If you have your belly sticking back and out, you're going to kind of soften the below back, so try to draw the belly in. One more breath out. And then inhale, lifting the arms up. You're going to open the left arm out to the left, the right arm forward. Try to soften your belly back. More or less the hips stay forward. You're not going to be out at a 180-degree angle. Maybe more like 7 o'clock than 6 o'clock. One more exhale. And then come back up, lift both of your arms. Go ahead and relax them down. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, bend your knees. Give your chest a little stretch, just kind of soften the knees, soften the hips, rolling the shoulders back, lifting your heart up. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, relax, release your arms. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a transition here. In fact, if you do have a block that you want to bring for a hatha, I guess it could be useful there. So I'm going to set it up just in case I want it. And you're going to take your right foot, leave it forward, take your left foot, bring it back, take your left hand down, and be on a block. So I've got a long lunge. I'm going to take my right arm up. You could always leave your right hand on your head. And if you take your right arm up, you get a little bit more lifted across the chest and lift your left leg. Try not to lift your right hip. So in this low twisting lunge, you're reaching open from the heart into both of your hands. You're opening this top shoulder into your lunge, into your twist. We're going to go from here into half moon. I know. So take your right hand forward. Come up onto your right foot, lift your left toes, open your heart, lift that left arm. Reach from the heart into both of your hands. And then take both feet down, come forward, and gently stand yourself up. Kind of a weird transition. I'm just enjoying it a lot lately. We'll go to the other side. Take your right leg back. You might take your right hand onto a block. You might have it on the floor. And then take your left arm open, although you could always leave it on your left thigh. Lift that back leg. Pull your left hip back. Open that left shoulder up. One more exhale. And then you're going to look forward. So you're going to have to take your left hand down. You might bring it onto a block. Stand up on your left leg. You're going to open your heart up. Woo! To that right hand, there it goes. One more breath in. And then 2 feet down, go ahead and stand yourself up. And then face this way. Just a couple more standing stuff, although not quite so crazy in the balance department. Right foot forward in your warrior one. You're gonna have to do a lot of foot adjusting through this. It just is what it is. You're gonna start in your warrior one. Good bend into your front leg, lift up right into your heart. One more breath in. Then lean forward a little bit. Take your left arm forward, reach your right arm back, and you're gonna move into a twist. And like when you were standing, it's probably not gonna be like fully open 6 o'clock, 180 degrees. If you lean forward a little bit in this one, it makes it a little easier because your legs are split apart. One more exhale. And come back up to warrior one, facing forward. Then you're going to turn all the way out to the left. You're going to have to adjust your feet so that they're lined up and they're really wide and the toes all face forward. And then take your hands down towards the floor. Leave it, your right hand will stay down there underneath your face. Take your left hand to the small of your back, the flat part of your back. And try to leave that flat part pretty flat as you start to roll your left shoulder open, finding a little bit of a twist. Just have the hand there so that you're a little bit more aware of how that can stay pretty stable. You could, of course, shift that back, but you can also keep it kind of steady. Maybe you open your left arm, take another breath in, exhale, and lower your left hand down. And leave it down. Take your right hand to your lower back. Try to keep it pretty, because like you can shift it or you can keep it pretty steady. We're going to try to keep it pretty steady this time, opening the right shoulder. There, a little bit more steady. Maybe you open the right arm. One more exhale. And then take both hands down. Put a little bend in your knees, start to lift yourself all the way back up. You're going to turn back to the right side, going back to that warrior two. So more of that foot movement. Make sure you find that right to left spacing. Lift your arms up. Keep your arms, your heart lifted. Then bend your elbows. Pull them out to the side. Keep that heart lifted. And you're going to open across the chest. One more breath in. And out. And then you're going to turn out to the left again, but this time the heels are going to be in, the toes will face out, we'll come down into a little Buddha squat here. Try to push into the pinky toe edges of your feet. Your feet are not going to be open in 180 degrees either. One more exhale. Then lift back towards the right again. One more, warrior one. Lift your heart right up to the thumbs. Lean forward, bring your hands forward. And you've already got your right leg bent. You're going to scooch your left leg up a little bit and then a lot. Bring your feet together, sit your hips back into a chair pose. One more exhale. Straighten your legs, lift up. Relax your arms for a moment. Wiggle out whatever you need to wiggle out. And then find the other side. Your left foot is forward. Your right leg goes back. I'm not thinking about it. I find it weird not to face you. So finding your left side forward in warrior one. Take a nice big breath in. Lift your spine up tall. And then right arm forward, left arm back. Twisting over towards the left. Is the weight balanced in your feet or your shoulders soft? Is your left hip pulling back to your back foot? One more exhale. And go back to warrior one, lift it up. Keep turning it all the way out to the right side. Adjust your feet so that they're in line and the toes face forward. And then take your hands down. Go ahead and soften into this fold. Leave your left hand down. Try to leave your lower back flat. You can always take your hand there to check it out. And then open your right arm up. Take in another inhale. And then a slow exhale to lower your right hand down. And a slow inhale to open the left arm out. Slow exhale to lower it down. The slower you go, the more you have to work in that rotation around the spine, around your abs. Keep going side to side. One more time each side. Once you get that left hand down again, put a little bend in your knees, relax your spine down, let the head hang, let the neck relax. Start bringing your hands back to your legs, lift yourself up, you're going to turn back towards the left leg, widening your feet again, finding your warrior one. Put a good bend into your front leg, lift your arms up, keep your chest lifted, open your elbows. Stretch out the front of your heart. One more exhale. And then turning yourself over towards the right again. Wiggle your feet out until they're mostly in line and the knees and the toes are facing out at those angles. Push into the pinky toe edges of your feet, relax your inner thighs. One more exhale. And turn it back towards the left. Adjusting your feet again, making them wide, lift your arms up. The last of our warrior ones. Big breath in. And then bringing your hands to your heart, leaning forward. Keep that bend in your front knee. Take the back foot up a little bit and then a lot of it till you bring both feet together, wiggle them in together, sit back into your hips just a little bit more, let out an exhale, and then stand yourself up. I'm just gonna face you here. Leave your feet together. You're gonna sit back into your chair. Take your right hand to your right hip, bring your left hand down to the outside of your right knee, and then notice if your hips got weird, if they're kind of gliding over to the side, try to keep them reaching back and your knees in line. You can stay here, you can go down to your elbow, maybe you bring your hands together. You see how my top shoulder's coming in? I'd rather try to open the shoulder up and lift my heart. This is a perfectly fine variation if that's where your spine needs to be for its twist. One more exhale. And start to unwind, come all the way back up. Then bend into your knees, send your hips back, slide the right arm to the outside, left hand at the hip. Maybe you feel like your lower back is pretty flat there to start off with. Try to sink those hips back. Maybe the elbow comes there. Maybe the hands come together. Maybe you roll that top shoulder open. One more breath out. And unhook that elbow, unhook that arm. Come back to standing. Separate your feet back to that hip width distance. Strap your arms by your sides. Close your eyes if it feels good to you. Maybe you shift the weight in the feet a little bit, trying to find whatever center is. And then if you need to shift so that you're standing at the front of your mat or at the front of your space, go ahead and do that. Try to find that balanced space again in your mountain pose. From there, reach your arms up. Be real long through your spine, long through your back, long through the legs too, pressing down into the floor. And then bend your knees. Bring your hands back down to the floor. Press them down. Walk your feet back. Find your downward facing dog. Bend your knees as much as you need. Reach your heart down into your hands for a long spine, long arms, and a strong upper body. For one more breath, big inhale. As you exhale, gently lower your knees down, untuck your toes, sit your hips back to child's pose. Arms can go wherever you like, long out in front of you or down by your sides. One more exhale. And then start to walk your hands back in. You're going to come to a seat, so you'll swing your legs out in front of you. It'll be your left leg out in front of you. Bring your right leg in and turn over towards the right side. Ooh, come on, sorry. Send your left arm down the left leg. Lift your left toes. Send your right arm up and over your nose. You're finding a lot of space along that side body. Take another deep breath in. Soften something as you exhale. Then lift yourself up. Turn over towards your left leg and come forward into a fold. Just whatever amount of fold feels good in your body. Letting it feel good in your body, and maybe that means you can just come here, take that little twist of your heart towards your leg, whatever feels good. 2 more breaths. And start to walk it back. Lift yourself up, switch your legs. The right leg will go out, the left leg will go in. You can turn out towards the left side. Lift your left toes. Send the left arm down that leg and then reach your right arm, that's the right side. Left arm goes up and over. You know what I'm talking about. I'm losing my mind. Really filling up that left side of the lungs with your breath. One more exhale. Then lifting up, turning yourself over towards that right leg, and then coming forward into whatever fold feels good for your body, whatever depth. A few more breaths. Start to lift yourself up off of your legs. Unwind that left leg. Take your hands back behind you. Our fingers want to face more towards your hips. They can face out to the sides a little bit, but don't let them face back. You want to have them face forward so that you can draw your elbows back, lift your chest up. And then bend into your knees. Place your feet on the floor. You can stay here, just pushing into your hands and pushing your heart up into the front of your rib cage, or you can lift yourself up into this altar pose. Try to lift those inner thighs. Lengthen and open the fronts of the hips. One more breath in. And then gently lower your hips back down. Come off of your hands. Move your wrists around a little bit. We're going to come down onto our backs. If there's anything you're going to want to have handy for Shavasana, go ahead and grab it. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And open your arms out and roll both of your knees over towards the right side. Just as much of a twist as feels good to you. You might feel like you've got a little bit more space because we've been doing a lot of twists today. Or you might feel a little bit tender and need to open it up a little more. One more exhale. And then moving your knees over towards the other side. You need to adjust your shoulders, placement of your hips, something like that. One more breath out. And then come back to the middle. Go ahead and widen your knees more than your shoulders. Reach up and hold your feet or hold onto your ankles, anywhere else that feels good to you. Try to relax your hips. Let them be heavy. If you want to rock a little bit side to side in your happy baby, go ahead and do that. One more breath out. And then release your feet, go ahead and set them down onto the mat. Put your right ankle on your left knee. Stay here or reach the right arm in between the legs so that you can hold onto the left thigh. Keep your right foot flexed, just gently at least. Keep your feet lined up and safe, and relax your hips down. One more exhale. Then release your legs and then slide the right leg all the way over on top of the left leg so you're crossed at the thighs. Open your arms up. With the legs crossed this much, I kind of like the arms open more like a soft Y shape. And then let your legs roll over towards the right side so you're getting a deep tissue opening inside of that right hip. As you exhale. Then start to unwind your legs and come back to the center. Set your right foot down. Put the left ankle on top of it. Staying there or reaching the left arm in between the legs to hold the right thigh. Gentle flexing of the left foot. Just a little bit to keep the knee a little bit lined up. Or rather to keep the knee lined up, but not be too intense about it. More exhale. And relax your right foot down, cross the left leg all the way over. Let the knees go over towards the right. Like I catch with my foot so it doesn't go super far. You can always do that or go further. Open your arms out where it feels good to you. Up in a bit of a Y shape or lower or more open if that feels better. One more breath out. Unwind your legs, coming back to the center. Go ahead and slide your legs out. Reach your arms up and back, creating this big shape with your body, this big X. Reach out in all directions. Feel yourself taking up space, and then as you exhale, let the body soften, let it fall. And again, like that, big breath in, reaching out, softening, falling, relaxing as you exhale. And then deciding if there's anything else that your body needs from you, any other movements or adjustments. You can take the arms down by your sides, gently roll the shoulders underneath your back if you feel better with legs bent, feet on the floor, any adjustment at all. Find what you need, where you should be to rest, so that we can settle in for these few minutes of softness before we wrap up together. back to your breath. As you tune back into your body and back into this space, maybe you come back to that thing that you were thinking of when we were starting practice off, that you could recognize that little thing that you can love about your body. Just flexing that muscle again. And if you'd like to flex any other muscles, make any other small movements, go for it. Eventually rolling to your side, turning inwards in a moment of gratitude. For coming to your practice and for taking good care of yourself today, because taking care matters. And when you're ready, coming up and finding your own version of a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Seal the practice, releasing one more Om together. Big breath in. Down to honor the love, the light, and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Namaste. Have a wonderful days, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, April.